Well, hello everybody. I hope everybody is doing wonderfully on this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful late summer evening. And a lot of people complain about Oregon and the weather. They think that Oregon just gets deluged, nonstop. When in fact, it doesn't rain anymore here. We're right in the average rainfall zone. What we do have in the fall and winter is 9 months of mist and kind of little spitty rain. But the payment for that 9 months is 4 months of sunshine, 80 degrees, 40% humidity every day, which is really great until you're in fire ban season like we are now. In fact, there is as many of you know, there is a wildfire burning uh, 2.8 miles from here. I think it's about 2,000 acres, and they've got it contained by about 30% or so. So that's good, Wildland firefighters, damn, those dudes and gals are some bad people. And I don't mean bad, not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. I've got quite a few friends who are wildland firefighters, and it's a tough job. It is a tough job. And I was blown away when one of them showed me their little pop tent that if the fire starts to engulf them, they get inside this like silver bubble and it, resists the flames and keeps them and can keep them alive, pending it doesn't burn, in that area too long. And that's just pretty damn amazing to me. It's funny, I had a whole list of things here that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and for some reason, it's now missing. So we will uh, we will just continue on as if nothing ever happened. So yeah, how's everybody doing on a day like today? I know that ever since those of you who've been stuck with me this long, know I went through some, and I'm still going through some tough times. And I used to just sit and for hours just dwell on it and be pissed off and angry. And at a certain point, sometimes it takes the right person to say, the right thing. That they were like, It's already over with. It's done. There's nothing you can do about it." So, you know, live up to your teachings. All that I am is now. All that I am is right now, right in this moment. The past is gone. Hopefully, we've learned from the bad things, integrated the good things from the past, our past experiences, these things, that shape us into the human that we become, the choices that we make that determine our life's path. And, one of my goals and something I'm extremely good at uh, when it comes to other people, yet obviously not very good at for myself, is helping people find what they were meant to do or what they want to do and figure out ways to make that happen. I've got a, uh, you know, like countless people who have literally given up six-figure jobs in big houses, and now they live in a little shack somewhere, and they're a craftsperson of some sort, and they have a mere fraction of the money they once did, but they are happier than a pig, and you know the saying. Uh, yeah, so that's why it's important you don't fall into that those lies that are fed to us from an early age that you know, success means money and cars and a nice house. You know, those things help, of course. You know, having money helps. I can tell you that more than anything else. You know, it's some of you may have saw my Instagram post the other day where for the first time in I couldn't tell you how long, I went to the gas station and I didn't just fill my tank up. I could only put 20 bucks in like decades, you know, and it was just such an eye opener for me about a lot of things. But yeah, you know, we went from being this animal that lived out here with the rest of the animals and plants and trees. And we spent our days hunting and foraging and, you know, working on our shelters, making some clothes. At the end of the day, we'd all gather back together, probably share a communal meal, talk about the day, talk about what we might do tomorrow. None of this, you know, 9 to 5 rat race stuff, you know, that we're all, many people are subject to. You know, I have a friend back east who spends 5 hours a day just driving to and from work. I mean, think about how much of his life is wasted driving 5.5 hours every day. Like, I don't even want to do the math on that. And it's sad because he's miserable. And he's got the big bank account and he's got the house and he's got the beach house and he's got the jet skis and the boat. But he never gets to use any of the damn stuff because he's too busy working all the time. He never gets to see his kids or his wife because he's busy working all the time to further this myth that you will only be happy once you have these things, you know. And as one of my most profound teaching methods, when I talk to people about especially the survival based skills, and I bring it up in my urban survival webinar, is to, you know, the what if scenario. You know, asking yourself, what if I'm walking in the woods and I fall and break my leg? You know, what do I do? What's my first move? You know, um, and I know daily he asks himself, and the irony of this story is, um, 24 years ago, I hitchhiked back to New Jersey to visit the family and stayed for about 2 weeks. And then I was going to hitchhike up to Vermont to enjoy the rest of the summer. And I was like, come on, dude, come with me. Pack a bag. You don't need anything. You don't need money. You know, just bring clothes, a tent. You know, he was all ready to go, had the backpack. The next morning comes, you know, my mom was going to give us a ride up to the on-ramp to hitchhike, you know, and he bailed out on me because that fear of change froze him in place. And he's still frozen in that exact same place to this day. never left the town we went to grade school in. And I've got like 10 friends like that. When I think of I graduated high school in 97 and left New Jersey in 99. Um, you know, um, or left like that area before I went down and started working with my dad. And I've got this group of friends that never left our high school hometown, and they still do the same thing every day. They get really stoned, they get really drunk, and then now they just throw work into the mix. And, they all look 15 years older than they should. And it's just sad to see uh, it's sad to see what we do to nature as humans, and it's hard to see what a few simple life changes, um, could completely transform someone's life and make them that bright, shiny beacon that other people are drawn to. I call it the caretaker ethic or the caretaker vibe or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so many people are trapped in that rut of I'll be happy when I get there, when I get to that spot. There's an old Zen proverb, and the student asked the master, Master, if I study twice as hard for 10 years, will I be a grandmaster? And the master says no. And he goes, Grandmaster, if I study 3 times as hard for 25 years, will I be a grandmaster? The grandmaster said no. And the apprentice asked, well, why not? And he goes, well, because when you've got one eye on the goal, you've only got one eye on the path. You know, both of our eyes should be on the path in front of us throughout our days. Um, Not literally, because obviously we know the negative benefits of not being in wide angle vision and always staring at a 45-degree angle to the ground, and how many wondrous, beautiful things we see when we learn to talk to the ground with our feet instead of committing all our weight to our steps, and we can keep our eyes up and look around, and this whole world opens up to us. And yeah, so don't fall into that trap. you but that's one thing that sucks about our society is money is an important part of existing in it. Um, But yeah, more on that later. So the first thing I want to talk about, and the thing that I am most excited about, is that in a couple next weekend, or the weekend after, 23rd, 24th, my dad, Mr. Tom Brown Jr., my father, my mentor, the person who gave me my passion for photography when he gave me my first Nikon camera on the beach for my birthday in 1984. And I actually have a photo hanging on my wall in my office of me playing with my new camera. He's the one who gave me the photo bug, as they say. And then, one of the things I came to realize very early on is that I really enjoyed seeking out and finding, being like the mice people, finding grandeur in the small things that most people pass by. Um, so I really enjoy photographing the small things. But I've grown to love all types of photography. In fact, it's half of my business, future nature, T3 photography. Um, some of the more commercial stuff can get a little tedious, but for the most part, I love it and I enjoy doing it. And uh, word is spreading about my work, and I'm getting calls from clients, to do everything from a woman who wants a three portraits of her with every one of her six horses, to my buddy who is starting a sawmill business. So tomorrow I'm going to go over there with my drone and we're going to fire up the sawmill and I'm going to film some drone footage of him and his business partner running this logging machine as they mill this beautiful piece of cedar. So yeah. Um, but yeah, anyway, so this class with my dad, I'm super excited about it because people ask me all the time, how do you get such great photos? The rule number one, always carry your damn camera with you. Every day, pretty much everybody has a cell phone that has a camera that is literally a million times better, uh, you know, than a camera from 20 years ago. Um, or, if you want to go deeper and get more expensive gear like I have, the sky is the limit. But we all at least have phones. And when we take the ancient skills that our hunter-gatherer ancestors used to move across the landscape, not leaving behind concentric rings, um, the skills we used to get close to the animals that we were hunting, the heightened sense of awareness that we possessed that our modern society has stolen from us. Um, though that's my take on photography. So rule number one is always have your damn camera with you. Yeah, I am not kidding you. The other day, I was going to the store to buy some half and half because I forgot my half and half. And you don't want to be around me if I don't have my half and half in the morning for coffee. And it's early in the morning, it's like blue light, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be to the store and back before it's even light enough. And sure enough, I leave my house and I go down, and eventually you hit this big cattle ranch. And there's this field that's got an area about the size of a football field lit up by the sun, the rising sun. And in this field are 20 or 30 elk, you know, just big bulls, they're just getting ready to split off and start mating season here soon. And I like go to reach for my camera and I'm like, you idiot. The other one I had happen is I was just running up the road to do something, and a bobcat, beautiful bobcat in full winter coat, it's the middle of winter. It ran across the road in front of me and stopped and just sat there for like 45 seconds. It would have been the perfect picture other than, it being on the pavement. So yeah, rule number one, always have your camera. Rule number two, apply the skills of our hunter-gatherer ancestors. Wide angle vision, tracking, sign tracking, moving like a shadow through the forest. Even taking it a step further, building things like ground blinds to conceal your position, camouflage, stalking, all of that stuff. That's how I get the photos I do. Is by, instead of a bow or a throwing stick or a gun, I choose to carry a camera, and because of that, I've gotten some quite amazing shots. So a few other things here before I wrap it up. Um, I just recorded a video of me working on two of the two custom handmade, that motorcycle pass. Uh, for you have the chance for $20 to win a handmade T3 throwing weapon. And it's made out of some super dense. My friend who I'm going to visit tomorrow gave me this huge slab of oak. Now, oak used to be much more prevalent in this area, but if you go a little further towards the coast, there's a lot more. And he gave me this beautiful oak board, and I cut these two throwing stick blanks out of it. And I am going to make some beautiful, one of a kind, functional pieces of art that you can purchase a raffle ticket for $20. When I am done making both of the sticks, and as I continue to book classes, and as people continue to be generous and help me with my campaign, it frees me up to have time to do things like work on the throwing sticks. Um, Once they're both done, I have a computer that is going to randomly select two names from my website email list, and yeah, it'll choose two winners. So if you are not subscribed to my website, um, I highly recommend you do so. If you go to my website and a pop-up doesn't pop up asking you uh, for your email, one should when you go to purchase the raffle ticket. There's a little black bar running across the top of my website right now that says click here for raffle ticket. A couple other things I wanted to mention. I am going to be doing a class in outside of Madison, Wisconsin. Um, my God, I can't believe I forgot the dates. October 27th, 28th, and 29th. It is called the Sacred Order of Survival. Or no, it's called the Art and Science of Wilderness Survival. Sorry. Um, I'm really looking forward to that. Somebody reached out to me, said they had a group of people, but if I wanted to put it up on the website and see if we can get a few more, due to my financial state, um, that was very generous of them to allow me to do that. And then I'm doing a version of that class here in Oregon, in, uh, I had it written down on that other sheet. I'll put it in the show notes afterwards. I'm also running what are called hybrid classes. So basically, one I have is called the Way of the Hunter. And I've been getting a lot of emails from people in the city who want to learn how to hunt, to feed themselves the best food possible. So I designed this called the Way of the Hunter class, and it's 1 2 hour Zoom session. And then the next day we meet here at my place at 9 a.m. and we spend all day tracking and sign tracking and learning how to read landscapes and learning about how an animal is an instrument played by the landscape, and learned what type of animals, what their needs are. And then I also touch a little bit about, the regulations around here. You almost need a PhD to understand Oregon's uh, hunting laws. It is absolutely crazy. A few other things. I am going to be so, my school was never really built to be kind of an open to the public school, where I would post a class and just, collect eggs from across the landscape. Um, I designed it more as a catered experience for individuals, for friend groups, for families, things like that. One of the services I offer is I'll come into your home and I will spend 2 or 3 hours with you analyzing your preparedness level if a natural disaster were to happen. And then I will help to get you, you know, get set up properly. Um, because that's another big plague around here is people buy all this gear and most of it's useless and they have no idea how to use it. So if you are pretty much anywhere in the world, I can come to you for a private class as well. And I operate all my private classes on a sliding scale based on everything from how far I have to travel to how many materials I have to gather, etc. Uh, so it's not as expensive as you think. So don't be worried about that. And last but not least, I want to mention one more time the photography class with my father. Teaching with him again after 13 years is going to be an interesting experience. I can't wait for it. And then, last but not least, two things I wanted to mention. Uh, I am currently running a GoFundMe to help me keep up with my, day-to-day bills as I build my businesses. Now, I'm only allowed to share part of the story of the reason why I ended up in the space that I am now, um, which is a shame because if I could tell the whole story, uh, things might be a little different. Um, I've heard rumor that there were some people who were upset by this, and I was perplexed because the community I was raised in, we were taught to help one another. And when somebody was down, their family in your community was there to help you up. And if anybody has I can't even imagine why you would be upset in any way, shape, or form that after making a bad choice and in investing my life savings, um, and only to have it fall, the business plan fall apart to dust, and then having to start over again with nothing. I don't understand why that would upset you. And if I post about it on the Tracker fan page or wherever, I'm not doing it so that uh, I can just sit around and eat bonbons all day. I mean, look at me, people. Between Lyme's disease and not eating, I am like barely over 135, 140, and I'm 6'2". I should be around 175. The Lyme disease has gotten into my heart. I'm gonna need to pay out of pocket to wear a cardiology thing that measures my heart rhythm for 2 weeks when I get back from Alaska, and I wonder how much that's going to cost out of pocket. Um, but yeah, the between just always operating from a place of adrenaline and stress, and I've banished most of the fear, thankfully. But uh, I'll encourage you to take take a walk in someone else's shoes who might not have it as good as you. Um, just really think about what it might be like, and then see if you feel the same way. Because I've done a lot of hard things in my life, but the hardest thing was launching that campaign, asking the community to help support me as I build a business that I know is meant to exist and that is going to cause a lot of wonderful change in this world. So, no matter what, though, I love you all. I have so much thanks and gratitude to all of you. There aren't even words to express it. So, until next Wednesday, stay happy, stay healthy, be nice to people, be nice to trees, be nice to plants, start saying goodnight to them. And yeah, I will see you then. Peace and love, everybody.